Well, hello and welcome to another video by Financial Learning. On today's video, we're going to be looking at CleanSpark Inc.'s December mining numbers. This is their official press release. We're also going to go over some of their operational activities, discuss their hash rates. We're also going to look at their wallet activities, and then we're going to end with looking at their latest Bitcoin HODL amounts. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, let's get started with the press release. This is dated January 6th, and it says CleanSpark mines 668 Bitcoin and has 7,024 Bitcoin mined in the calendar year 2024, with a hash rate growth of 287.9% and an efficiency improvement of 33.3% year over year. Jumping into the actual press release numbers, we're going to talk about the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin produced in December, 668. Total Bitcoin holdings as of December 31st is sitting at 9,952. We'll talk about what that relates to in US dollars on another slide, but let's continue. Next is going to be their ending of the month hash rate. They actually reached 39.1 exahash per second. Continuing on, they had their end of month fleet efficiency at 17.59. And looking at the amount of Bitcoin sold in the month of December, this is actually a reduction compared to November. They sold 12.65 Bitcoin. Jumping into the deployed fleet, they did increase there. Now they have a total deployed fleet at 201,808. And lastly, calendar year 2024, as was mentioned in the title, Bitcoin produced 7,024. All right, let's read a quote by Zach Bradford. This is the CEO and president of CleanSpark Inc. It says 2024 marked a transformative year for CleanSpark where we achieved true escape velocity in our industry. We have firmly established ourselves as a U.S. leader in operational hash rate, cost efficiency, fleet performance, Bitcoin treasury management, and portfolio-wide uptime. Surpassing our year-end guidance, we reached an impressive 39.1 exahash per second and enhanced efficiency to under 17.6 joules per terahash. Ahead of schedule, we strategically expanded into 3 new states, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Wyoming, while completing multiple site expansions. We're going to go over some of those expansions and operational updates in just a minute. Notably, we crossed a historic milestone by mining our 20,000th Bitcoin, a testament to our operational excellence since mining our first Bitcoin just 4 years ago. With a successful closing of a $650 million zero coupon convertible note offering, in December, we are fully equipped to execute our strategic objectives. As we gear up to achieve 50 exahash by mid-2025, our growth strategy is not ambitious, but fully funded, positioning CleanSpark to lead the industry into its next phase of innovation and scale. Let's go ahead and read this last little section here before we move on to their operational activities. It says, throughout December 2024, the company's average hash rate was 35.52 exahash per second. Average fleet efficiency was 18.06 joules per terahash, resulting in an average of 21.56 Bitcoin mined daily. Single daily high reaching 22.46 Bitcoin, and the company sold 12.65 Bitcoin, as I mentioned earlier, during December 2024 at an average price of approximately $101,246 per Bitcoin. All right, jumping into the operational activities, and then I'm going to go ahead and break down what this path to 46 exahash per second looks like. So starting at the top, we're going to talk about the convertible note again. Convertible notes offering CleanSpark announced the closing of its $650 million zero coupon convertible notes to support its growth through 50 exahash, a stock buyback, and a capped call. So it's just giving a quick highlight of all the information in December that was disclosed via other press releases. Jumping along. It says Clinton, Mississippi, for this location, 2 Bitcoin mining facilities near Clinton are now fully operational, housing S21 Pro miners, so these are the latest and greatest, with a combined operating hash rate of approximately 1 exahash per second. Jumping into Jackson, Tennessee, so this is one of their expansion sites. The first phase of the company's 60 megawatt Bitcoin mining site in Jackson has been successfully completed, featuring an initial 12 megawatts of the latest generation S21 XP immersion miners. We're going to actually calculate what's remaining from an exahash standpoint in just a minute. The second phase currently underway will bring an additional 48 megawatts of air-cooled S21 Pro miners online. Once fully operational, the site is projected to add approximately 3.7 exahash per second to CleanSpark's overall hash rate. So here's where I'm going to go ahead and break down the math. So if you would notice, they're talking about these immersion miners, and they have a total site wide at 75 megawatts. They're saying that once fully energized, they'll be able to do 5 exahash per second. So dividing those numbers, you're going to get 15 megawatts per exahash. So jumping through the rest of these numbers, you're going to see they already have one online in Wyoming with 4 additional ones. So that's going to be that last summary down there at plus 4 exahash per second. But let's jump back to Jackson, Tennessee. So you can see that they have a mixture of these S21 XP immersion miners and some of these S21 Pro miners. So we already know the immersion miners, for every 15 megawatts, you get 1 exahash. So it says that they have a total of 12 megawatts for these immersion miners. So you have to do 12 divided by 15, you're going to get 0.8. So there's 0.8 exahash available for these immersion miners. And that means the remainder is going to be for those S21 Pro miners. So looking at the 3.7, subtract the 0.8, you're going to get 2.9 exahash per second. That's the remaining amount of hash rate there for the Jackson, Tennessee that's been disclosed so far. So the 39.1 exahash per second for the December ending, plus the 2.9 exahash per second that remains for the Jackson, Tennessee site, and the additional 4 exahash per second, as mentioned in the Wyoming site, will get them to a total of 46 exahash per second. Now they're planning to get to 50 exahash per second by the first half of the year. So I would assume that we're going to see some additional expansions in the months to come, or we may see them still swapping out some of those older miners, maybe even some of these S21 Pro miners for these immersion miners. See, I'm going to be interested to see exactly how they hit this 50 exahash per second. And don't forget, they already have under contract for guaranteed purchase orders up to 63 exahash per second. So as the level of difficulty in Bitcoin mining requires additional hash rate to come online, Zach and team is definitely posed to be able to deliver that. So I am excited to see how they continue month over month to improve that hash rate, improve that efficiency, and continue mining that Bitcoin. And the last slide that I just want to quickly go over, I'm not going to rehash all the Bitcoin mining numbers for December, but I did put it on this so that if you'd like to kind of follow along, you can. If you look in that middle section, you're going to see CleanSpark's wallet information. And then one user or one investor actually reached out and mentioned to me that in order to be able to accurately calculate the monthly mining numbers, you have to take starting at the second day of the month, and you have to finish on the first day of the next month in order to get the correct amount of Bitcoin mined for the month. Because the Bitcoin number comes out so early in the morning, they actually take that next day as part of that previous month. So that January 1st amount of Bitcoin was actually part of their December number because they were mining for it in the last day of December, and they happened to receive it, just a couple hours in on January 1st. So if you were to take that January 1st amount of Bitcoin and replace it with the December 1st of Bitcoin that I had originally used for my calculation, that's the discrepancy between the 668 and the 665, almost 666 Bitcoin that I had mentioned in a previous video. So jumping down, so they already mentioned that according to the end of December, they had a total of 9,952 Bitcoin in their HODL, in their Treasury balance. If you look at the rest of the month of January so far, so January 2nd number all the way to January 6th, you take that total summation, you're gonna get 112 additional Bitcoin have already been mined in the month of January to add to the existing HODL or the existing Treasury. So that's gonna actually put the total amount or the estimated HODL total at 10,064 Bitcoin. So that it right there, they hit that 10,000 mark, definitely based off of the numbers. I know before I was estimating because I didn't know how much Bitcoin they actually spent in the month of December. All that now has been disclosed. We have the wallet information, it's publicly disclosed. Now we know for sure that CleanSpark Inc. has over 10,000 Bitcoin in their treasury. So I am very excited to see an announcement about that, as well as what they plan to do from a financial standpoint with that treasury or that HODL amount. If you are not aware, today Bitcoin regained that $102,000 mark. According to my calculations when I did this video, the Bitcoin price was at $102,140. So looking at just the December HODL, not including the January mine number so far, the CleanSpark Inc.'s treasury amount in US dollars was already at $1,016,497,280. So that is huge. That is over $1 billion in Bitcoin holdings. They are a billion-dollar asset company in just Bitcoin. That is pretty amazing if you ask me. And then looking at the January amount mined so far, if you go ahead and add that amount up, they are already at $1,027,945,031 US dollars. All right, and that wraps up for me. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. If you did, consider giving the video a like. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment. How do you think I did in covering today's press release? Any information I left out? What other types of content would you like to see me cover in terms of CleanSpark Inc. or other Bitcoin miners, or really just any other stock companies? And with all that said, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.